You there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Force Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. We'll start with Team 1 on the northern side, and we'll end with Team 2 on the southern side, also known as the blue team versus the red team. Starting off with Team Blue in the southeast, we have as a Cybern, it is Schumer playing in Stitch Blue as a 1540 rated. To his west, we have an Amethyst Purple. It is Azure Phoenix. So another blue name, not blue colored, but blue name. He is a UEF. He is a 1741 rated, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. And last but not least for Team 1 or Team Blue, it is Blue in Royal Blue as a Cybern. Aptly named there. He is a 1496 rated. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 1 UEF, 2 Cyberns, 0 Aeon, and 0 Seraphim. For Team 1, take a look at Team 2's northern player first. We have in Ruby Red, it is Shub Nigorath. I think is how you say his name. He is an Aeon. He is a 1579 rated. To his southeast, we have in orange color orange, it is Balfron playing as a UEF. He is a 1619 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 2. And in the west direction in Chevy Crimson, it is Pika Man playing as the one and only Seraphim of the match as a 1521 rated. So over Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 UEF, 0 Cybern. They also have 1 Aeon and then 1 Seraphim. So Team 2 has the only Aeon and Seraphim in the game, but lacks Cybern faction. Team 1 has 2 Cyberns in the game and 1 UEF, but they lack Aeon and Seraphim. But that does mean that all the factions are represented in the game, just not on each team. And for the 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 6,000 mass, and reclaim makes it easy in my head. 1,000 mass per player, and that 1,000 mass is definitely dispersed about the map. There's really nothing bigger than maybe 175 on quick glance in terms of reclaim, so it's scattered all around the map. The player is going to be running around trying to get as much of that as possible. Again, a little bit, but again, better than nothing. Nice little T1 Hunter running by from Schumer to annoy Team 2's Balfron. We do see that engineer is going to maybe get that reclaim order off. He doesn't get the kill, and the bomber does anyways. We also see some flares inbound to assist with that as well. So a little bit of poking and prodding from Team 1. We also see that in the air as well. A couple of bombers inbound from a couple players from Team 1. But in terms of the additional mexes on the map, we'll take a look at Team 1 side of the map. Team 1, northern team, also known as blue team. We have a tri-mex position in the west, a twin mix in the east, another tri in the east, and then we have a splattering of mexes, but there's also a tri-mex right here in the middle. So there is some very easy mexes to grab. Oh, also another tri-mex position here and here. So lots of tri-mex positions for the western half of Team 1. Eastern half is a little bit more sparse, but there are still some mexes to grab, so it's not as easy to, but there is still stuff to scoop up and try to expedite that income. But it is probably going to be a little bit slower, as is normal ladder matches, to get to, you know, the very much, 400 mass, 500 mass a second situation. So I expect to see T1 and T2 be pretty much peripherally a while, and then of course T3 be the main stage event. In terms of comm distribution, everybody on Team 1 has left their main base. Team 2, everybody has left their main base. We do see Balfron not moving as much northward as his other teammates, but he is moving at least somewhat in that direction. I would not be surprised. Looks like he's going for a T2 engineering suite, and then we do see the gun is now done for blue in the northeast. Gun started for Shub. And then in the west, we have Pika Man hanging out with that one facility. There is a decent amount of little ponds here. And yes, they're not super big. They don't, take up that much space on the map. But it might offer some interesting engagements for Team 2, specifically because they have a lot of hover tech at T2 stage. Team 1, they have 1 UEF, and they have 2 Cyberns. So a little bit of the sinking tech in the Wagner tech area. But Team 1 does have some nice little Riptide hover, but that's really about it. So Team 1 might need to start looking at maybe closing off a couple of these ponds. We could see a big boat, small pond situation maybe in some of these more central ones maybe, but they're very thin, so it might make it difficult to establish a facility there in any right. We do see a couple of units going after a couple of more mexes from Team 2. Looks like they killed off a couple, but not a whole lot. Gun is almost done for Balfron. He has T2 engineering speed done. Team 1 in the middle for Schumer. Gun is now done, and gun on the western side for Azure is that's almost done as well. T2 almost done for P Command. We do see first com-to-com action is going to occur between Blue of Team 1 and Shub of Team 2. Shub has the speed and the range upgrade, so able to fight at the same range and speed as Team 1. But again, he has that upgrade split between 2, while Team 1 has the upgrade condensed into 1. So a little bit more versatility for Team 1. Cyberns, not as much for the Aeons, at least in terms of getting different types of upgrades. We do see Nano started for Azure in the west. He doesn't have to go stealth like the Cyberns do, but then he doesn't have stealth, so there is that. TAC missile started for Balfron. Team 2, we have 2 players that can build that. Team 1, we only have 1, that being Azure, the other player on Team 2 being Pika Man. No Billy Nuke for Team 2's Pika Man, but still a missile nonetheless. Looks like a couple of bombers harassing some units hanging out next to the ponds here for Team 1 Schumer. Shub is being forced back primarily just because it's a 2v1 comm situation. So that's only going to favor Team 1. We probably will see Balfron move in. It looks like he is. Again, missile, T2, and gun on board. It's a little bit more of a possible tac snipe is on the cards. Maybe, maybe not. We've seen some very much hand-delivered missiles in the game, and we've seen from very long-range relationship missiles in the game. So wouldn't be surprised if it's more of a longer range engagement. Missile inbound, strikes nothing, but again, maybe he'd kill off a whole chunk of hit points. It wouldn't kill off the comm entirely, but would do a lot of damage nonetheless. Western side, a little bit more of a laissez-faire, more of a just hang out, relax, no real issues one way or the other. Normal, I'd say, match and FAF with stable connection. Looks like they have some possible connection issues. That probably will stabilize, maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Schumer dropping into the yellow. Shub also in the yellow already. Again, mostly driven by the 2 comms. Team 1's blue also in the yellow. I sense a maybe stealth nano situation here shortly for at least one of them. I would presume maybe blue would fall back, get in the water, go for nano, and then come back. And then Schumer would sub out. He'll go for stealth in the nano and then come in and assist blue. So kind of a more of a trading in. But with 2 players next to one another from both teams, I highly doubt they'll move that much. We do see T2PD is online now, and it's going to start poking at these forces from Schumer. Again, it's Schumer with all of the everything, and then Bluish is with his comm. Same kind of thing for Battlefront, but he does have some T2PD and, of course, his upgrades on board the comm. A couple of units from Blue actually veering off from the main group, going eastward to just poke and prod at some mexes over there. A little bit of force is harassing one another from Team 1's Azure and Pika Man. T2PD online. Pika Man also has T2 engineering suite. Azure has gun and nano. In the back line, T2 Air is online for Team 2, going for some Volthers. Team 1 T2 Air is also online, going for T3. So he will have access to ASF, Strat Bombers, and T3 gunships here shortly. Team 2 would have access to 2 of those 3 things because they don't have T3 gunships for Seraphim for whatever reason. They do have a T4 bomber though, so that might be maybe the trade-off there. I don't know. I guess, well, the Cyberns do have Team 1, T2, T3, and T4 gunships, so I don't know what the reasoning behind that is. But anyway, missiles inbound. Looks like it's made from a nice little TML that looks like it maybe got destroyed at some point. Maybe it's further back, but I did see that little yellow dot. You see Azure's now on 1-star vet. We do see stealth has started for Schumer. I would not be surprised if blue joins them. And again, Team 2 has been pushed back a little bit. The Triad really having some kind of issues with the environment. It is very hilly in this map. It's one of the things that's kind of easy to tell, at least because I think the hill is just that tall. You can kind of see there's more of a lightish, kind of tannish on the lower side, and on the upper side it's more of a flat environment. It kind of helps to note that, yeah, this is a flat and this is not, but you can see Lots of hills in this game. There's also tons of hills everywhere else. So definitely a direct line of sight weapon scenario probably isn't going to be the best bet, because literally any elevation might cause an issue. Even just a bump in the ground might be all that it takes. Missile inbound. Looks like it was going for Schumer, but it's not. It's going inbound for some mexes. T2 and land headquarters might be hit. There is a TMD that'll shoot down that missile right quick. So unfortunately for Team 2's Battlefront, it's not enough. Maybe he'll go for Billy Nuke after this. We'll see. He's at 13 minutes, so maybe starting to think about some more beefier missiles. Lots of Aurora here. Decent amount of Furfurs as well. Not a lot of T2 units in this mix from Team 2 or Team 1 at that. And looks like Shub is moving in to claim his hill, king of the hill over there on that eastern side. Nano started here for Schumer. Stealth started here for Blue. Gun started for Pika Man. And Azure standing in that pond, cooling down that commander. T3 Air should be online. Spy plays are now inbound. And still T2 gunships, just stacking up T2 gunships. Whatever he's doing with those. I don't know what he's planning on, but we will see. Shield started for Shub. It's going to take him not super long to get that. But again, here's another situation. There's a triad. Cannot shoot downward because it's not the edge of the hill. So those forces from Team 1 getting pretty close. We do see that Hoplite does able to shoot a couple of missiles over that hill just for a moment. And more forces over here in the east engage one another. So Mantis and Strikers having a disagreement about whether or not Spiders or scary or not. We do see Stealth is done for Blue. No Stealth. No, sorry, not Stealth. No Nano yet. Maybe he's thinking about it. Missiles are inbound westward now. T2 Max has been spotted. That's probably the target. Team D is starting to be built all around the middle of Team 1's kind of just empty spaces. We did find what those gunships are up to. They're going after assassinating some mexes for Team 1's Azure on this western side. We do see a couple of interceptors. They're helping a little bit. Vultures aren't super tanky in their hit points, but it's something. We do see they're actually going to go for... Oh, nope, they've decided against it. They went, oh yeah, there is a mech there. Look at that. And they probably will kill off that second one. There's some flak inbound. It might be enough to shoot the gunships away, but the mechs does get killed off nonetheless. There's another flak inbound. One of those gunships should... Yep, there it goes. Should take the hit. ASF comes in, and that should be more than enough. Gunship really trying to stay alive, and it's not. It's dead now. We have Nano almost done for Schumer now. Shield almost done for Shub. That's going to give him nice regen. He's already at 100% hit points, to be fair. But he'll get up to, I think he's like 80 something at T1 vet, I think. And then Shub is going to get to a nice little 8,000 additional hit points on board that commander. We do see a little bit more pushing in from Team 2 on the ground from Shub, going more northward, more central northward, I should say. We do see Azure's moving in to intercept. Team 2's Pika Man still hanging out. Hasn't really left that fob over there. And looks like a little bit of a fob is happening for Battlefront. And again, the problem is yeah, you can be king of the hill, but it's kind of hard to shoot downward, to be honest. And a couple of... Oh, ASF and Strap Bomber inbound from Team 1. Going to drop and kill off a Mex. Nice grab there. There is some AA in the area. Not a lot in terms of T2 or even T3 for that matter. He does get up to 74. I think it's T2. Sorry, 2-star vet is when he gets up to 80. So Strap Bomber gets shot down. The ASF got shot down. You know, a little bit of reclaim. Definitely better for Team 2 in that trade just because they lost... Sorry, they lost one Mex here, and that wasn't enough to break even. But, you know, it's some mass a second. It makes a little bit of a difference. Team 1 overall is in the lead at about 300 to 270. Team 1, Azure at 130, and then Blue's at 100. Everybody else in the game and on Team 2 in general pretty much at 100. But Big Man's starting to, you know, peek over the hill of 100 mass a second. We do see T2 going to be destroyed here for Blue. That's not going to help him stay at 100 mass a second. We do see a decent amount of T2 forces. Azure has a lot of reclaim here from Team 2, it looks like, from all those Aurora. Going to get those engineers spammed up. Lots of blazes starting to run around for Shub. We're almost at 20 minutes. Strap Bomber goes after more forces from Team 2. I don't know if that's realistically the best move. I mean, yeah, he deals with the threat on the ground, and yeah, there wasn't a lot to stop that, but it is only Team 1, a couple of T2 units. I don't think it's really worth trying to snipe a couple of pillars, to be honest with you. it's more worth it to go after mexes. We do see a couple of flak cannons going to do some damage to the Revenant. There goes that Revenant. That's in Team 2's territory now. We do see Schumer pushing against Shub. It's gun speed / range versus gun and nano. We do see Schumer now in visual contact range, so he's going to be forced into the water in the northwest direction. A couple of Wagners hanging out, nothing too crazy there. Team 2's engagement, lots of parashields. Love to see that. Azure pushing in with his comm. Gun and nano still on board only. We do see gun, nano, and T2 on board for Pika Man. Looks like he's falling back to intercept. A couple of Oblivions are online, trying to just say go away. We do see Schumer continuing to push against Shub, and Shub's hit points on board his shield is almost down. We do see a Percy being dropped behind Schumer's comm. Balfron is inbound from the east. We could have a just very delayed pincer maneuver from Team 2 on one of these two commanders from Team 1. They're in Team 2's territory, and the Percy doing a lot of damage to Schumer's comm. Drops him to 5,000 hit points. Percy not chasing him. Overcharge doesn't kill off the comm. 4,400 hit points. And we do see some interceptors tussling with some ASF. Another Percy inbound. We do see Team 1's forces getting pretty thin, especially in the parashield department. We do see Pika Man looks like he's going to get picked up. He needs to be careful. There are some ASF flying around. We do see some gunships inbound from Team 1. There is some flak here, so it's not an easy fight for those gunships. And we do see the comm. I don't know if he'll drop right on top of him. That's probably not the best idea. He's going to drop a little bit short. Flak does barely hit the transport, not even missing him. And again, the shots hitting the environment, not great there. And I think Team 2, they're going to go for it. 3 commanders are inbound. Percy's inbound as well. Schumer not looking great. Azure's also taking some shots. He's at 2-star vet, though. Schumer's almost at 3. He just needs 1 kill, realistically. There's the 1 kill. Gets it back in the yellow. And Balfron going to take a lot of damage here trying to protect his Percy's. There's a lot of shots inbound for Schumer's comm. 1,300, 1,200, 1,100, 10, 9. There he goes. Gets killed off by Team 2's Balfron by those Percy's. And then we have Azure in the water. All those commanders came together and just kicked Team 1 out. It's now a 2v3 game in favor for Team 2 at 19 minutes. That does mean that Azure gain... Oh, now he does gain Schumer's base. He's at 250 mass income. He's producing almost more mass than the entirety of Team 2 at this point. That's a lot of mass to play with, but that does have an effect on his APM constantly running around the map. He's not that far away from the main base from Schumer, so it's not too bad of a, move the view all the way over there and all the way over there and all the way over there and then up and down and zoom in, and it's not that bad. I have seen maps where it's pretty bad. You have bases on the opposite ends of the place base for the main bases for Team 1 or Team 2, and it's just running back and forth, I would imagine. We do see 3 comm pushing in. Nice little conga line of comms, to be honest with you. That's a Rhino really having some issues with that Skyboxer from Team 2. Like, just get out of my way. Stop booping me. We do see Azure is falling back. He got to another pond. He is going to make it home. We do see that hover's inbound, and he can see it over top. We do see a couple of gunships inbound from Team 1 to help out a little bit. Couple of Swift Winds. That's going to kill off those gunships pretty quickly. ASF's going to kill off those Swift Winds pretty quickly. And we do see, I think the forces from Team 2 are going to probably fall back. Azure has those reinforcements from both Cybern and UEF. And they will do some damage to the units and the comm. They won't kill them off. There's not a lot of firepower here from Team 2. Decent amount of blazes, but not much else, to be honest. Mex is going to get killed. Oh, it does get shot down before the Mex was shot down, so there's that. Air grid being expanded upon by Team 2's Pika Man. T2 Air also online for Shub. Obviously, that makes sense because he has some Swift Winds. Unless for some reason he gave over Aeon Tech and Pika Man wanted to build Swift Winds for whatever reason. But Transport drops off some Percy's from Team 1's Azure. Mexes are being eliminated as we speak. Team 2 has nothing to respond to this. I feel like the T2 Mexes and the T3 Air Headquarters might be the 2 biggest targets to take out. Even the T3 Mexes, to be honest. And I don't see much in response yet. I think Team 2 just now noticed that's another Mex dead. That's 3 Mexes dead for Pika Man. Definitely needs to fix that because he needs all that mass. We do see T2 PD being built, T1 PD being built, just something. And Pika Man's like, oh no. And Battlefront is still pushing in. Couple of parashields, couple of Cougars and parashields and, you know, spearheads and whatnot. Couple of Percys. That's not going to mean a whole lot with all the other forces from Team 1. Team 2, how you dealing with another mech is dead. That's a T3 mech, so that was a T3 mech. That's a T3 mech. That's a dead mech. And Pikaman losing a lot of ego from all of the 3 of these Percys. Another PD is done. Looks like the air grid's going to get hit. T3 P-Gens are being targeted. We have Blazes and Harbingers inbound from Team 2's Shove to assist. Not going to block the shot. There goes the P-Gen. Does get reclaimed, though, so not any of that nonsensical volatile nonsense. Oh, be rebuilded immediately. Percy does get killed off before it kills off that mech. But these 2 were T3, and then I think the other 4 were T2. So we'll just do 9 mass a second, 36 plus 54. That 90? And that's 90 mass a second, which did a huge dent in Pikaman's eco. You see a couple of T1 PD trying to be built. Battlefront kind of doing this kind of up, shooting some shots down. Ooh, that's a nice overcharge. Kills off a decent chunk of units there. Lots of Rhinos. Lots of veterancy. He's up to 14,000 mass killed. Couple of Percys taking a lot of the shots. We do see a Strat Bomber goes off Battlefront's commander. That's probably a smart move. Just say, hey, go away. Just keep kicking him. Just go away. And Battlefront's like, no, I want more kills. He's on 5-star vet, so he's going to get as much hit points as he's going to get. But, you know, Strat Bomber drops a payload on Team 1 Torp Launcher. Don't know if that's really worth it, but hey, something dead nonetheless. And Cougars almost wipe out the Strat. Oh, he has 28 hit points left. Does he make it home? Might as well make it home and just control K. Oh, he's dead anyways. Nah, never mind. Looks like Team 1 might be able to scoop up the reclaim, though, from the wreck. But, ooh, it survived a lot longer than I thought, to be honest, because it probably should have died. Bricks having some fun, going after some Percys. Percy's also inbound from Team 1. And more inbound, so not great there. Again, not a lot of forces being diverted to all of these, you know, some Percys over here, some Bricks over there, some Percys down here in the south, some Percys inbound here. It's not a lot yet. It is 24 minutes, though. We have plenty of time for players to build those bigger units or structures that we always love to see. Shove didn't go for advanced range or heavy shield yet. Comm points out by Schumer, saying, again, that's where the comm is. And then we have Pikaman still back over there, now at his fob, just hanging out. Looks like he's running back and forth. Looks like he's going to try to intercept the Percys. They're going to try to run across the pond. And Team 1 using that technology very well. Again, the Percys, the Bricks, the Authams, they can go in the water. They can't hover, but they can go in the water. That's a nice skill to have. You can hide from most damage. And you can just kind of wait and see what happens. Shield started for Team 1's Azure's Calm. He's going to get 19,000 hit points from that. And then it's still only stealth, no nano yet from Blue. Northeast for Blue, getting some TMD, some flak just to deal with the gunships from Team 2. ASF starting to stack up for Team 1 as we speak. Probably about 24 squadrons. 24 squadrons, that'd be a lot. That's 240. 2 squadrons inbound. Pikaman has been taking some shots from the Percys. T2PD being spammed up as well to deal with this. Now, he probably could have overcharged and killed off a Percy. That might be enough to get him some veterancy. It looks like he is going to dip underneath the water just for a little bit. The shielding is down. Most of the Percys have taken a decent amount of damage, so Parachutes coming in to shield them a little bit. And now we have Resurgence from Shub inbound from the middle. We also have Team 2's Battlefront over here. A couple of Whalers. That might divert his attention a little bit and say, don't go that way. Looks like the Cougars can't actually hit the Whalers. They have a range on those guns. Battlefront's dropping hit points pretty quickly. And he gets underneath the waves. Western side, the Percys are dealt with. They've killed off most of the T2PD in this base, though. And that Percy might not get out of there. Team 1 pushing back Team 2 in the middle. We see a couple of Bricks inbound. Battlefront, again, already at 5-star vet, so no veterancy for him, but he'll, again, help out at least any way he can with his comm. He's sitting at almost 6,000 hit points. I do sense a snipe on the cards from Team 1 at some day and age just because he's constantly pushing in and out. I feel like he might just need to fall back, maybe hide in this pond, build a Billy Nuke, and then just start launching Billy Nukes at Team 1. We do see some Torp Bombers are starting to be stacked up. So I do think Team 1 is definitely eyeing for Battlefront. He's the closest to their side of the map, so he's just on their minds because he's right there. We see a Percy hanging out with a nice little radar system. Doesn't kill off the radar, kills off the PD. Smart move, then kills off the radar. Gunships are inbound. They're going to kill that Percy, but you know, it's one Percy, not a terrible thing. We do see he's just going to sit there and maybe kill off some... Nope, he's going to fall back. Gunships are inbound, and they will definitely deny the Percy's retreat into the pond. I mean, he's already at half hit points. He's not even close there, so he will be a dead unit. We do see some bricks trying to act as a mobile wall for the wall sections that have been destroyed. And again, there's that hill just right there in front of the forces from Team 2. They just can't hit stuff because of that hill, because of all the hilly environment. We do see a couple of cougars shooting at the... Oh, that was a missile. Oh, that was another missile. Oh, that was another destruction of some of those torp launches. We do see a nice land facility spam with some mass fabs built in there to cut down on costs on mass. Again, it does cost a lot of power to run those mass fabs, so hopefully he's building some PGen somewhere, because, yeah, that's not looking good for him. Blue, how's your power doing? Not great. So if Team 1 continues to just eat power like it's going out of style, then I feel a droppage in shielding is inbound, especially with Azure having 19,000 additional hit points on board, especially with Percy's and everything else. Granted, there's not that many Percy's left, though, to be fair. It's mainly just spearheads and parashields. So more of indirect weaponry versus direct fire weaponry. Not great, but he is still shooting at stuff as he's leaving, though. Team 2 expanding their air grid even more. Looks like they're giving a little bit of a gap there. We do see an SM. Actually, that's not an SMD. That's a bigger thing. That's a nuke. 28 minutes on the clock. Do we have an SMD at least? No, not built yet. Team 1, no SMD yet. I don't see the little, yellow with the little X in it. So not there just yet. Does look like some Harbingers allowing the main force from Team 2's Battlefront to escape. Team 1 PD, I mean, he's right there. Overcharge kills off the brick. What do you get in the water? What are you doing? He's spinning in circles. He loses tons of hit points pretty quickly. Here comes the calm of Azure, and there he goes. He maybe could have gotten away if he dipped into the pond immediately, but he did not, and it was worth taking a risk. I mean, I won't disagree with that. I do feel like he could have gotten away with at least being there a little bit longer, but Team 2 loses Battlefront. Makes it now a tied game at 2v2, and that base belongs now to Shub. Shub's at 500 mass a second. Team 2's in the lead overall. It's about 770 to about 700, so we'll say 70 mass a second favor for Team 2. And again, that hill really just causing some issues for both land armies at this point. Look at all the shots just hitting the environment. And if you never zoom in too much, or if you never, turn the camera and go look at stuff with the elevations and whatnot, you will probably never notice this. That it's just like, why aren't my shots landing? Oh, that's why they're not landing, because there's a giant hill there. And Azure continued to push forward with that tanky comm of almost 40,000 hit points. Nano shield and gun. Can't build T2 because that's his regen. That's his nano. Not a lot of forces here. Team 2 and Team 1 keep fighting over this hill. For some reason, both teams really just want this hill. And they are going to have it if it's the last thing they do, I guess. And does look like some more parashields and cougars and they're inbound. Not a lot of direct fire, but hey, it's shots to distract Team 1 nonetheless. It looks like Team 1 PD in the mix, T2 PD in the mix. No Ravagers yet that I've noticed, at least here. 3. What? Nuke says Schumer. Maybe he's talking about 3 minutes, maybe is what he means by that. No, I don't think it'd be 3 minutes. I think it's been a little longer. 30 minutes on the clock. That nuke is just sitting there now. It's almost half done for Shub, but it was, I think, most likely built. It was built by Battlefront, at least started by him, so it looks like he hasn't restarted the construction. Maybe he's going a different route. GC being built, more power being built, and that fire base, it's gone, but a lot of losses for Team 1 nonetheless. We have more Percy's all the time. Monkey Lord is inbound, and I have an idea where it's going. It's going to try to either run past the forces from Team 2 or just sandwich them, one or the other. I feel like sandwiching might... there's more forces inbound from Azure, so actually I don't think sandwiching was necessary, especially with a lot of momentum on this eastern side for Azure at this point. SMD is online. Love to see it. Nuke is still not being built, and Chicken is being focused on. 50, says Schumer, talking about the GC. Again, a little bit of a thinning out of the line for Team 2. Not great, because that just means conga lining for Team 1 to shoot at, which makes it a lot easier to engage. This is a little bit better engagement, though, for both teams. But again, all those shots from the Percys, I mean, they're ripping apart the Harbingers pretty quickly, almost one-tapping them at this point. Gunship's a little bit late to the party, but nice to have the reinforcements nonetheless. SMD back here. And then we have no SMD for Team 1 on the west. Azure will not be protected, at least. It depends where it lands. His big land grid right here. If it lands in the middle, it should be covered. If it's not, probably not. It might go after that if the nuke does get finished. At this point, I don't know. Nuke is probably the least of Team 2's concerns. The GC does get finished in time. And the Monkey Lord goes, oh no, I'm going to run away now. Nuke, still no progress on it. Actually, I think it's losing hit points now. Yeah. Chicken is at about 50% hit points now. And I think Team 1 and Team 2 are going to probably slowly build stuff up. Splash has been started for Pika. He does have the advanced nano regen on board, so 40,000 hit points, 232 hit points in second regen at 2-star vet. He'll get up to, I think it is 50k even with the splash. I think, because with T3, I think you can get up to like 53. If it's either 50 or it's pretty darn close to 50 at 5-star vet, and that's at 5-star vet specifically. Eastern side, Team 1 PD kills off immediately. A couple of mechs is going to be lost. This is where we see a lot of the loss of the exterior mechs for Team 2. Speaking of loss in mechs, Team 2, especially Shub, now down to 475. Team 1's Azure at 700 mass income. So really ecoing hard for Team 1. Again, starting to get a decent lead on Team 2 once again. They were at about 80 or 90 for a little bit, then they dropped, and they weren't in the lead, and now they're back in the lead. Again, the Monkey Lord and everything else running around definitely helps out, but every little bit counts on both sides. Splash still progressing a little bit. No movement from Team 1's blue. Still no nano, at least. I feel like every Cybern should have nano, unless you go for teleporter. Then you can't have both anyways. But why not go for nano? Just passively build it on your comm. You're going to keep them there anyways. Who knows? Maybe Team 2 sees him and snipes him, and that might be the end of that. So just something. Food for thought. Or just put your comm up here maybe and just kind of hide. That's not super far forward, but it is towards the more middle section of the map. Azure maybe safe comm, says Team 1's. Who was that? Was that Blue? Blue made that comment. Azure maybe safe comm. Where is Azure's comm? I don't see it. Oh, there's look, there's a Percy still running amok down there. More and more mechs is dead for Team 2. That's not helpful for Shub. And that Percy's at almost... Oh, he got the 5-star mech, a 5-star veterancy for that other T2 mechs. Gabe Monkey says Blue. Where is... Oh, he's over here to the east. That's where he is. I was like, where is this comm at? He's over there. And we do see a GC. And now that Yothoth is done for Team 2, GC over here in the east as well. So 2 GCs running around. We have 2 monkeys for Team 1. And Laser starting to push back. Lots of bricks. 2 monkeys, though. And some Percys mixed in as well. Nice little eclectic mix of both. GC, he grabs 1 brick and goes, that's probably not a good idea, and just goes right the way he came. There are some Harbingers and Percys moving in. And the laser, well, the little secondary fire on the Monkey Lord is starting to shoot at some stuff. He probably could turn around and maybe start shooting at the Monkey Lords moving across, but he's just getting out of range. Nano is started for Blue. There he is. He does actually move up there. I promise I didn't watch this game beforehand. All I did was make sure that it worked or not. I just thought, oh, he could go up there, and I guess he did that. Maybe Azure's on his way to join him. No, he's going to the other pond to the west. Smart. because Team 2 could try to snipe one or both of them at the same time. That'd be an immediate loss. So if they both die in the same spot kind of thing. Monkey Lord is almost dead. Percy's focusing fire on that. That one's gone. Then the shot immediately changes over to the Monkey Lord. That Monkey Lord is dead. That's another wreck for Team 2 to scoop up, not from them. We have a lot of Percys inbound, so they might secure the reclaim field, but it is on Team 2's side of the map. So it'll make it a little bit harder to actually secure. A couple of Percys will die to the crash damage. Looks like these... Oh, he grabbed another one. That's a pretty big range on the crash damage, I'd say. Still a lot of mass for both teams to scoop up, specifically Team 2. We do see another GC inbound transport with engineers already on board, moving in to scoop up the reclaim. Very fast moving there from Azure. And he immediately starts scooping up Harbingers and Percys. It's the easier ones to scoop up. GC is inbound. He'll get a little bit of mass from this. Looks like maybe 1,000 per engineer there. And those engineers are dead immediately. Nice quick moves from Team 1. Scored a little bit of mass. Definitely paid for itself transport and engineer-wise. And hey, just a little bit of mass makes a big difference. Team 1's now at 1.3k. Team 2 is at only 900. Reclaim barely in favor for Team 2. Team 1, I mean, unless that's power-related, which... No, that's not power-related. And Azure's definitely not power-related. He has all these mass FAFs here. He has... Does he have quantum gateways anywhere? No. Doesn't have any quantum gateways that I noticed as of right now. He has multiple SMDs online, which I love to see that. He has one protecting both bases. I would like to see maybe one just in case. And then there is a SMD over there to the west, kind of protecting these mexes and this production facility as well. So like the coverage there on the western side. Team 2, that nuke has been ignored at this point. It's not going to be built. We have another GC coming online. That might be a fake out from Team 2. Changing up strategy, focusing Team 1 on more defenses that they don't need. Again, you always, not that you don't need SMDs, you always need SMDs, but when you focus on one thing, you kind of neglect something else, and that might be an opening for the other team. So, again, don't neglect your SMDs, but also don't hyper-focus them sometimes because that might end up backfiring at least a little bit. Lots of T3 mexes, lots of mass FAPs. Yeah, still no quantum gateway, which I'm a little surprised at this point. And I'm trying to look for one. Lots of T3 transports. Those Continentals, love to see those. PGens, of course. Transport already with some Percys waiting to be moved in. Probably going to drop it maybe on this location if they can, but they just will not stop fighting over this one hill. Just can't stop fighting over that hill. GC is going to die because there's no way that crab leaves without killing off the GC. There's no way. Plan says Pika Man. Engineer's already scooping up reclaim. And we have Percy's trying to push back everything else. The crab will... Oh, no. He's going to pop right back out. He was about to go all the way underneath the water, but said nope. Another GC is inbound. Everything is diverted from Team 1 and Team 2. Over here, western side, not to be forgotten about. Tons of Percy stacking up. And that's the same hill. And that one's kind of just been there the whole game for Team 1. Chicken over there, GC over there. Looks like the GC's being pulled to maybe go eastward. We have another GC inbound. And Team 2, I think they're just going to get out-ecoed maybe at some point with just out-produced, I should say. Engineers dropping off tons of, or being dropped off by tons of transports for reclaim purposes. Just get that eco into their veins. Team 2 at 115 and climbing. And the engineers, these haven't been given orders yet. Those ones have. I'm surprised those ones haven't, but GC not focusing the crab. Second crab is, though, here from Team 1. That's another dead GC. And Team 2 might just be able to just build a bunch of facilities and just protect it that way. There is that megawatt there. There's that megawatt. Team 2, if they had the nuke, they could just nuke it. Just be like, you know what? No one gets the reclaim. Forget it. If I can't have it, no one can, kind of thing. Another chicken online. There could be a push on the western front. Again, there's a lot of Percys and a megawatt over here. So it's a lot of firepower from Team 1 hanging out over there. And GC focusing that same megawatt that's at 2-star vet. This megawatt, again, barely new on the scene, but it's now already dead, that GC. Team 2 cannot seem to keep a GC online. Artillery has been started by Team 2, looking at more longer range options. I'm not holding, says Shub. And Nuke, actually, forget that. Nuke it. What? Why? Why is there a nuke that's almost loaded when that one could have been loaded? Because Anyway. Oh, didn't mean to draw that. Scratch that. But Percy's moving in. It's not going to be enough, though. Team 1's throwing pretty much everything they have at this. We do have a bug. The bug is all by its lonesome. Not... Oh, ASFs are stacking up over here. They're not in... Oh, there they go. ASFs from Shubber inbound, and that bug is eaten alive. And that looked a little bit of ASF. Oh, he doesn't move in. He might get in... Oh, that's not going to be great for Team 2s with some of the ASFs. But there goes the fight nonetheless. Looks like a little bit better of job from Team 2, because that second turn was great, wiping Team 1's ASF pretty much in one fell swoop after the initial turn there. Chicken is down. Crab. Oh, it's the Percy. I'm telling you, the Percy is Team 3 best unit in the game. Land unit, at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 5. Sorry, 5 dead GCs from Team 2. Can't do much, right? Says Shub, and it's just feeding the Horde hand at that point. That hill was just getting dumped in reclaim. Look at this. Look at the reclaim. Isn't it just pretty? Look at all the reclaim. I just gotta love it. Just fight over this one stupid hill the entire game. Everywhere else they could be throwing, units and stuff at, just this one hill. That's it. That's the focus. Whatever reason. Western side, the base is now going to be lost. The crab, is pushing in, but realistically, we didn't need to. Could have just held back, but all the Percys are inbound, and it's not going to be fun. That western front is going to collapse, and it's going to hurt because Team 2 does not have anything to prep against that. Nuke is done. Building an artillery piece right now. Nuke is loaded. Again, the problem is Team... Did he just launch that nuke? No. Okay, I thought I heard sirens. But SMD here, SMD here, SMD here. Pretty much covers everything. The only thing you could realistically... right here. Again, if you can't get the reclaim, you might as well deny it. Strats are inbound. Looks like Schumer notices the strats from Team 2. Looks like they're being called back. And artillery is at almost 25%. This one over here to the east is being ignored again because he needs more GCs. But again, the GCs aren't going to be enough because there's 4 megas there. Strats coming in to wipe out a couple of Percys, but they're getting shot out of the sky by all of the flak and the T3 and everything else. Oh, there's a... Wow. That's a lot more strats than I thought. I thought it was just, 3 or 4. It's about a dozen or so. That could have been sent over there. There is some bouncers and whatnot over there. Transport drops off more. Engineers going for AA. Smart move there. They know they have it on lock for land, so they're going to lock it out, air out of moving over there, or just make it super costly. Cloaking is almost done for blue, because why not? 45 minutes on the clock and climbing. Haven't even talked about the, who's going to win and whatnot. So let me know down in the comments at 45 minutes who you think is going to currently win it again. Oh, I didn't switch that off. Apologies. Team 1 at 1.5. Team 2 at 1,000. So the mass is favoring Team 1. The map is favoring Team 1. The reclaim is favoring Team 1. Pretty much everything is favoring Team 1, but not the air, though. Team 2 has the air under control, but we will see how the game goes. Again, thank you so much for watching to this point in the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. And at this point, you might as well just target... that's not a bad option, targeting that. Ooh, that's a great chunk of forces dead. And they're going after all the Percys. Honestly, that's actually the better bet. Yeah, the Megas have a lot of hit points. You want to chew through those. But there's a lot of forces here, and they do a lot of damage, too. And you can kill those off. Not have to worry about that. That's why you kill the ads off, and then you go after the boss, rather than trying to kill the boss off. Because the ads might just kill you, just straight up. We have T2 artillery being spammed up, Klinkhammer style. T3 artillery has been reclaimed. That is still there. Amazes me. Nuke is sitting next to that. That's half loaded for another one. And we have more artillery raining in. Team 1 getting some of those. They look like hives, but they're actually little eggs. They take forever. I think that's the one thing about the megas, is that I feel like unlike the Fat Boys, where obviously they can move and build, which that's a good point. Why hasn't Team 2 built a Fat Boy yet? Anyway, they have to sit there, and they kind of... Maybe they take as long to build as a Fat Boy can build units, but they're not utilized that much because they have to be sitting. And they can deploy units. Looks like they're building bouncers, and bouncers. He has more AA coverage, it looks like. But looks like the Percys are starting to spread out a little bit. And T2 artillery starting to trim through some of them. There's a lot of T2. And they're getting P-gens to load a little bit faster, so we love to see that. Looks like artillery rating in from Team 1. Both sets of P-gens. The nice little diamond is gone. That one is firing. That one is going to be built here shortly. Team 2, that one isn't shielded. Nuke is, again, almost loaded. Surprise. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crabs and 2 monkeys, and there's still not a nuke fired at that thing. But all the reclaim is gone pretty much at this point. There's still a couple of wrecks from the GCs and whatnot. But maybe they don't want to waste the nuke on that, or they don't want to feel like they're wasting a nuke. But honestly, Team 1 and Team 2 have fought over that for so long. Strats are in. There's no way they go right through the middle. There's a group of AA there. The ASF's already moving in to intercept. They're going after SMDs. That's what they're dropping so closely for, going that route. And SMD will get blown up, which is good. And some of them still make it past. They might get another target. No, they need it. No, I don't think they're loaded for another one. No, they're not. They don't get the drop anyways. But scat this has been started by blue. SMD for Team 1's blue. Doesn't cover the artillery. This would be the perfect time for a nuke to go after either this or go after this. If the nuke isn't fired, there, I was going to say that's a missed opportunity and a half. Nuke is inbound. The question is, where does it go? We have a Pika Man over here to the west. We have Megalith inbound. We have a Chicken inbound. We also have Shub over here. We have the Megaliths now getting a little bit more pushy on that eastern front from Team 1. And the nuke, either it goes for the production or it goes for the artillery. I feel like the artillery might be a better bet. At least as of right now, that's the immediate threat. And Chicken gonna take a lot of the damage. And Pika Man coming in with the splash. There's a lot of Percy's here. Oh, the Megalith's gonna get away. Oh, Pika Man, I think he pushed too far forward a little bit. Again, you have a lot of nano, to be fair. There comes the nuke. It lands short, does go after the production facilities. Kaboom! And I think it kills off the SMD that was going to be built there, or was built there. That's unfortunate. Another nuke will be able to fire it at that. SMD, or not SMD, nuke is, we loaded 124,000 mass. We have a bomber almost done. The Megalith Eastern Front is going to collapse on Team 2. Western Front's also collapsing at the same time. A couple of restorers running around. We have ASFs flying around. The nuke, even if it does land on Team 1 side of the map, I don't think it's going to matter because there's a lot more. There goes the nuke. The SMD was built, but it's going to be denied again. Second SMD denied by the second nuke. And there's just too much. There's too many hit points. There's too many Percys. There's too much everything. And even if that bomber does get built, Team 1 has ASFs right here waiting for whatever. We have Pika Man. I mean, he's going to get boxed out by all the everything from the Western Front. They're just getting sandwiched, and it's not working. The nuke will land. It's going to be a great nuke nonetheless, but still, SMD is down there. Another SMD, of course, there and there. I don't even know if Team 1 has a nuke anywhere, which I don't think they do. But scat this. How's that going? It's almost half done. Kaboom! Wipes out almost everything there. A couple of pigeons survived, but everything else is dead. That's the important thing. Pika Man looking not too bad. Now he's at 4-star vet, getting more hit points there, but this is it. Bomber is online. It might get 1 or 2 payloads dropped before Team 2 loses. Right on top, kills off a ton of Percys. That's a nice volley there. SMD is going to fall here shortly. And yeah, it's over. I'm like 50 minutes of pain, says Shub. I mean, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes peace, says Pika. Yeah, I don't think peace is happening at this point. Bombers inbound to the east. ASFs. Oh, they're going to get a payload drop again. It's going to get shot down. Shub is going to get destroyed by bricks, Percys, and Megas. Sad game. Ooh, some ASFs got caught in that explosion. There goes Shub's hit points just immediately by those Percys. And then there goes Team 2. Oh, no, that was a Control K. That's very surprising that he got the Control K off in time. And there goes Pika Man. That's a double kill for Team 1's Azure. That's MVP for Azure. And he did a very good job. He just spammed up a whole bunch of Percys, some bricks, but mostly Percys. Spammed up a whole bunch of Megas and some Monkeys, and just went eco, and just called it a day. The hill was claimed by Team 1, and then Team 2, and then Team 1, and then Team 2, and then Team 1, and then I think Team 1 at that point just held it for the rest of the game. Yeah, this definitely was a pain point. This wasn't as bad on this Western front, but it was definitely slow going. You had the attack that wiped out the FOB, and then it just, kind of sat there for a while. Team 2 got 2 nukes off. To be fair, the nuke did kill off almost 300,000 mass. So there is that. However, doesn't matter because Team 2 lost anyway. So, as much as the nukes could be the best, sometimes it's not enough, and the land is what really caused Team 2 to lose. That and the eco. I mean, the eco fueled the land, to be fair. But even if Team 2 had air, I mean, Team 1 just built AA, either flak or T3, and called it a day. That's one of the, not annoying things, but that's one of the downsides of air. It's a lot easier to counter because you have shields, you have AA, you have your own ASFs, whatever else. Land, yeah, the PD is not bad, but when you're talking about experimentals, I mean, you can get a couple of, megas and just go. So, or a couple of fat boys and go. And that is surprising that Team 2 did not go for fat boys. Or Team 1, actually. Didn't go for fatties, which is, I think, a little surprise. Especially on this Eastern front, we had constant, just push. Had a fatty been mixed in there and not a GC, maybe Team 1 would have been, okay, let's pull back a little bit. We're just going to get constantly shot at. It's not going to be worth it to sit here long term. Let's fall back. But no, just GCs, chickens, and literally everything else but a fatty. I don't think one was built this game. And I don't even think one was being built anywhere. But no, I don't see anything. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see all of you in the next one.